Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Raghu Adibatla, and this is Talking Funny. What's up, guys? My name is Raghu Adibatla. This is Talking Funny. Sorry about that. Little bit of technical difficulties as we get started. I haven't been back in just a little while, but now that things are opening up, I'm gonna be doing my shows, kind of a pop up every week because it all depends on who I get and when I can have them. And tonight we have a very cool comic on the show, Kyle Allen. He's a really funny guy. He's been performing everywhere. He hosts Mike at CG's Comedy Club regularly. So we're going to have him on right now, everybody. This is Kyle Allen. Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. How's it going?
It's going, man. Sorry about that. Crazy thing. It just kind of disappeared. I don't know what the hell happened. Had to restart, but here we are.
It's quite all right. That's just the joys of live entertainment, so to
I
say.
know. I know, right? It happens to everybody. I'm sure it happens to Colbert. I don't know, maybe.
Probably.
Uh,
But might I say, I think it's quite impressive that you got this entire show
oh
in and even
yeah,
the intro.
yeah. It I thought I should have something kind of cool at the beginning, I
Yeah,
guess,
you
and
should, especially for me.
yeah, of course. Nothing less for you, man. Thank you, and talk to you, get to know you. It's funny, like you meet a lot of Chicago comics, you see them, but then you don't know their journey. You don't know
Mhm.
what brought them here, and essentially, that's what I've been doing with this show. And even people you think you don't, you find out some really cool stuff about them. And I know you've been performing a lot of shows in Chicago and Indiana and everywhere. And but I want you to take us back to when you decided to do stand-up comedy. Why did you jump into that, and what was your start like?
Long story short, what kind of led me into pursuing stand-up was several years ago, I tried to become a musician, went to music school because, I thought that going to music school was a surefire way to be a musician,
Right.
especially when you're trying to pursue a music education degree. But anyway,
Yeah.
so at that point, I remember like some friends were trying to get started with this online review show, similar to like how Awesome was doing, like Nostalgia Craig and so on and so
Okay.
forth. So we tried to do something like that. I was writing, and that was something where I wasn't really doing that, but I decided to do it just for the hell of it. And then I started like doing more and more writing. And then I
Okay.
started watching a lot more stand-up comedy. Then basically I got of trying to work with my friends and not getting anything done. So that just sort of motivated me
Okay.
to pursue stand-up comedy, see if I could try to do it myself.
Sure. Okay. And then you just kind of wrote up some material and just got out there. Just
Material.
material, right?
Yeah, so my very first set, because was very new at this and I only had like a very limited grasp of what comedy was, I
Right.
decided to devote my entire 5 minute set to jokes about masturbation. And
Okay.
again, I put special quotes around jokes.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh my
because I
God.
was a fan of Lucy Kay at the time, and that wasn't going to
Right.
bite me in the ass anytime soon.
Wow. How did it go? The first set.
Surprisingly, not as awful as one may think.
Okay. Okay.
But before I went up, by the way, I went and started doing comedy over at Riddle's Comedy Club in Alsip.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So when I started, that was when I'm going to refrain from names, but this one comic who's now living in LA, he was hosting at the time. And before the show, I decided to add a Hitler joke because, that's always topical, especially
Right.
in this climate. So I remember I said, the host goes up and says, "Bro, you did 5 minutes about masturbation jokes. You are the stereotype of a first timer."
I was gonna say that. Yeah, that seems about right. That's what you
He wasn't
usually
wrong. I'm not going to say he was.
get. Tom Feline is on. He's watching. Hey, Tom. Speaking of Tom, Comedy Shrine. I see you there a lot. You do a lot of your material there, and I know you're. So, have you been in the suburbs a lot, or where'd you grow up in Chicago? Where'd you?
Well, I've always lived in the Chicago suburbs.
Okay.
I've lived in Oak Forest for the longest time now. I currently reside in Matson,
Okay.
Mattso, and not Madison.
Right.
I always like to clarify that.
Right.
To be fair, I'm not even for sure. I'm not even sure if I'm actually saying Matson right. Some people say Mattison or some shit
Hmm.
like that. Whatever. I live far away from Chicago.
That's awesome, dude. I like it. So when you started your comedy, you're getting into it. What was your research process like going in? You knew you were going to do this. What did you do to kind of gear up and make sure you're doing things right? And Kyle's frozen. It happens. Kyle Allen is frozen on my end, guys. See, I knew I was destined to do this because this is what makes you stronger. Technical difficulties, guys. You know what? It's all good. We're all live. Let's see here. Oh, there Kyle disappeared. He's gonna come back. This is good, guy. This just makes you better and better and better. That's it. But where he's gonna jump back. Tom, are you still watching? I think Tom's the one person watching right now. Yeah, so Kyle, he's been doing regular. He's a regular host at Mike at CG. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that, and he's been doing shows around. I know he's been in Indiana, Market Lounge down there. Really funny guy. So if you see him on a flyer or an event, you go see him because he's done his material is great, and it's definitely, I'm sure, evolved as a lot of comics, their material evolves. Let's try to get him back on here. Yep, he's back. All right, let's. Should we bring him back on? I don't know. At this point, I'm not sure what to do. Yeah, you know what? Let's bring him back on. He's a good guy. Hey.
We should mention that this episode is sponsored by AT&T Uverse.
Yes. That's awesome. And it's hilarious sometimes, like, you don't know whose end it is. Like it can be really clear on your end, or you think, but then yeah, it's glad you're back. Yes, we got this. We're gonna get this done.
For now, man.
That's okay, no worries. We were talking about your journey, your research in stand up. How did you kind of gear up to know what's right, what's wrong?
By failing miserably.
That's the best way to do it, man.
That's simply like the only way to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
people try to like peddle like comedy classes or I mean, really, the best way to learn is just by going out there and doing. Now, of course, you could, do your due diligence and try to study the
Right.
craft and try to dissect what a joke is and what
Yeah.
exactly comedy entails. Because I feel like a lot of people enter comedy without really understanding that there are jokes to it, and
Yeah.
because on the surface, it seems like that all we do is we just talk shit. But
Right.
no, it's a
Right.
very dedicated process to craft material. Well, for
Yes.
most people, some people just like to go up there in free form, but that's their thing. Not everyone's
Right. Right.
as seamless or anything like that.
Exactly, exactly. It's a process and it's different for everybody. I think the one common theme is be funny. that's uh that's really what it boils down to. And you're hilarious every time you're up there. So um now you all right, here. I wanted to ask you who was your like influence in comedy? Were you watching any comics?
Uh, the very first comic I really got into was George Carlin,
Oh, nice.
and
Okay.
that was, I think, I was early years into college, and that
Okay.
was before I even considered doing stand up. I was very fond of George Carlin. He
Okay.
spoke to me. Well,
Nice. Yeah.
not literally, of course, just in
Yeah.
that false sense of intimacy fanboy way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the guy who really made me pursue doing comedy might be a bit of a controversial decision, but I kind of hinted at it earlier, was Louis C.K.
Okay.
And because at the time, Louis definitely was doing what I thought Carlin was doing, but he was own personal vulnerable stint to it.
Okay.
And with Louis, I was pursuing other comics of that same vein. I was really getting huge into Hamill Burris. I was getting
Yeah.
huge into Dan Gould, Bill Burr,
Okay.
um, the joke and one-liner comics like Anthony Jeselnik and
Right.
Daniel Tosh, so on and so forth. It's kind of hard to name like each and every influence. It's
Right.
I try to keep like an open radar to like whatever's around, try to see what they got.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. No, that's great. Watching comics is definitely a big thing. I think a lot of comics who are starting out definitely need to do. Support, go to shows and look at comics and see what they're doing. You host the mic at CG's
Mhm.
regularly now, and I've talked to a lot of comics who host a lot, and I wanted your take on this as well. Now, when you're hosting and you're seeing comics, and you see some that come right every week, you'll see some of
Yeah.
the same comics, and especially with the newer comics, do you see? Do you see progression? Do you see like them coming back and doing the same set or trying to become stronger? What's the thing that you see the most with comics that keep coming back and doing mics?
Okay, so it's kind of a broad question to answer because there's a lot
True.
of variables, and also I don't want to make it seem like I'm describing anyone personally.
No, no. I guess
But
I guess what or maybe I can narrow it down a little bit. Maybe the newer comics. You see new comics.
right.
What are some things you notice like maybe something that could help people who want to do stand-up comedy, and what are some things you see with the newer comics? What are they? Do they come back with the same set a lot, or what are they
Well,
do?
if especially if we're talking about newer comics, I think the one thing that I see the most is a lot of comics like to come in with new material every time,
Okay.
which sounds
Yeah.
good on paper because
Yeah.
you want to be fresh, but at the same time though is if you yourself are new to this, you don't want to do something new every time you go up on stage
Right.
because you're not perfecting anything. You're not
Right.
honing the previous material. If you just like bring like an entire new 5 minutes one week, do it on stage, and then just ditch it and do another all new 5 minutes, like you have nothing that's
Right.
showcase worthy
Right.
because
Exactly.
you want to
Yeah.
start building an act. if you
Yeah.
do want to try to pursue comedy in the sense of getting booked for shows and so
Right.
on and so forth.
Of course.
So that is definitely something I see a lot
Okay.
amongst newer comics.
Okay.
As far as like comics who come up and it's a bit of a mixed bag if I had to be honest. Like there are
Yeah.
definitely people who I see put the work in and
Yeah.
it shows that they are sacrificing blood, sweat, and tears to get up on stage as much as they can and to
Yeah.
perfect their craft.
Right.
But then
Right.
there are some people that they just
Right.
uh, I don't think I really need to describe any further. I think you get the point.
Right. No, no, I get it. I get it. No, definitely. And I think as a host, yeah, you see all that. And does hosting how does hosting help you as a comic? As it since you started hosting, has there been anything different or anything that you take away from that?
Well, there are definitely things that hosting helps with. Hosting
Right.
helps with it kind of helps you confront with your nerves a little bit because
Okay.
when you're just going up there cold to a crowd, going up cold, of course, to like the viewers, meaning that with
Yeah.
no other actor for you, you have to like go out there and initiate the show for the
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah.
And it kind of helps you be a little bit more in tune, more comfortable on stage because you just gotta open it up.
Right. Right.
And also too, like I would mention that hosting for an open mic can be a little different than hosting a show. Hosting a show, like a
Right.
weekend show, helps in the sense that you gotta just like sort of like loosen up and open up to the crowd because you gotta like bring them into the show and gotta get them engaged. Also, like
Right.
being a host is sometimes not the most favorable position
Okay.
because it's not about you.
Right.
For some
Right.
people, they may just say that hosting is just taking the first bullet for everyone else. And
Yeah.
in a lot of sense, I can't disagree
Right.
because you're just warming up everyone for the rest of the show.
Right.
And that's essentially all you're doing.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, though, you can still do a very good job as a host, but you got to maintain certain things. One, you got to maintain that energy. You got to make
Right.
sure that people are in at all costs. You got to sometimes be the buffer at times when there's like a comic who maybe uh, sags the energy down a little bit. You got to bring that
Yeah.
back up.
Right. Right.
Sometimes you need to sink the energy back down. If a comic was way too energetic or it does something crazy, you gotta like sort of like be the that moderator, so to speak.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, do I think hosting is helpful? Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. But
Definitely.
is it always enjoyable? No. But you
That's
know,
true.
that's that's just the
Yeah.
business for you.
Now, when you're hosting a show, I know you have to bring the energy up, and there's a lot involved. Hosting a mic, you're pretty much it's mostly comics. Like, what are the things? Is it the same? A lot of the same. Hosting a mic.
It depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
You can maybe look in terms that maybe the open mic might be more comfortable because like I'm surrounded by a good amount of people who I'm friendly with, or
Yeah.
but at the same time, comics have a notoriety for being being hard to crack sometimes with material. Like
Okay.
it's like if I'm doing like a set up front, some of my jokes that might work in front of like a weekend crowd, like a regular like patrons,
Yeah.
might not really land as hard in front of comics.
I see.
And there's a myriad, comics they're self-absorbed, they're trying to think of their act, or I've heard of this expression too
Right.
that sometimes in order to make a comic laugh, you need to like throw an old woman downstairs. I'm paraphrasing. Maybe that could be the exact one. Yeah, let's just throw down elder downstairs.
That's- that is hilarious. Can you can you elaborate on that? Wait, I've never. That's interesting. What does that mean?
It means that comics Not all,
Yeah.
but there's some that we find dark shit funny.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, yeah.
Sometimes you have, in order to make a comic laugh, you have to like say something incredibly like dark,
Right, right.
perverse,
I
out
see.
there,
Yeah,
because a lot of
yeah.
comics they're used to seeing other comedies, so they
Right,
want to see something that they normally don't see too often, and
right,
sometimes that's what makes them laugh.
right. Yeah, definitely. um, now, yeah, how long have you been doing comedy? When did you start? What year was that?
September 30th, 2015.
2015. Okay. So since you started until now, like, would you say so your material has changed, or how have you changed, you think, as a comic?
Well, I'm funnier.
That's true. I'm sure that's
That's
true.
one. I hope so.
That's
But
good.
as far as how I've evolved since then,
Yeah.
well, for one, I learned how to craft a joke and
Okay.
to the joke writing. And also, too, is like I've learned that to sort of try to fall into myself when I'm up, ever
Yeah.
whenever I'm on stage, because when you're going up on for most people, they really don't know what to be when they're up there, and
Right.
because there's there's a bit of like a fight or flight type of feeling when you're in a position of public speaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of nerves and a lot of adrenaline that's running crazy, and sometimes
Right.
people don't act as composed as they should be.
Right. Right.
So maybe sometimes they're jittery, sometimes they act out in ways they normally wouldn't act out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like I've become more comfortable on stage, and like I said, hosting helps with that.
Right.
Now,
Right.
as far as material, well, from the very beginning, I've always wanted to be somewhat of a dark comic. Some of my material has more of like a dark, I guess sardonic edge. I think that's what sardonic means. I don't know.
Right.
It's morbid shit. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Right. That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, definitely. When you evolved in your writing, your material, and what you do. Your what's your do your any family come out to see you, or what's that like?
Um, my family doesn't often come out and see me. That it's
Okay.
because that most of the time they know I do comedy. They're supportive that I'm doing it.
Okay.
That being said, I don't expect them to come out and see me because I
Okay.
know that my humor isn't exactly for them.
Right. I see.
I do remember there was this one time where my mom came out and see me when I hosted this one open mic over at Star Bar on
Okay.
Chicago Ridge, and thankfully that place has closed down. But yeah, one time she came and see me host the open mic, and I just bombed miserably in front of her.
Oh
And she
no.
showed up my grandma too. It's like,
Oh no.
yeah, that's I'm putting that music education degree to good use, all right.
Oh no. That's oh. Then they're just like, see, I knew it. See, we were right. We were they just because they saw you that one time. And it
Oh no,
didn't
they didn't say anything, which and
okay.
it's just as worse.
Oh man, that is too funny. And Tom has a question. Said, I would like to know how Kyle warms up his shoulder for 12 innings of fast pitch open mic.
Oh,
I don't know what
yeah,
that
because
means, but it's an
I
interesting
used to
question.
do this whenever I bring up on people on stage.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
yeah, like years ago, uh, just wind up like Pete Townsend style.
Yeah.
When I bring up the next comic, and I
Okay.
just don't really do that as much anymore. And to kind of answer that question, how do I warm up? I don't. I just deal with it and then suffer the consequences later on. So if my arm socket is torn out,
Right.
then that's why, because I didn't prepare.
Right. Wow. That is hilarious. I've got to come out to a mic and see that. So you don't do that anymore?
not as much. Sometimes I will if I feel like I want to get the energy up
Right.
because I think it works. I don't know. I just do it for the hell of it.
Oh man. So last year this thing happened called the pandemic. I'm sure you've heard of it.
No,
That's yeah, I think something like that happened. I'm not sure. But it kind of just kind of shut down everything for everybody, and especially, when it comes to comics. What was your mindset going into that? Like, how did you prepare yourself that you won't be doing live shows or anything live for a while? And take us through that.
so this is going to sound weird, but I didn't mind 2020,
Okay.
especially during the first pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes, sucked for the first several weeks,
Yeah.
but then it allowed the opportunity to take a step back and actually just reevaluate certain things, reevaluate what I want to do with
Okay.
comedy.
Okay.
And I feel like that led me to going about several decisions like growing out the beard. If anyone's ever seen like me like back before the pandemic, I was clean shaven. I was
Yeah.
very much going for a kind of a maybe not squeaky clean, but like presentable, like clean shaven, like club type comic.
Yeah.
And then I grew out the beard, started wearing the bandana. Then I went all out with the denim, with the gloves and all that.
Yeah.
And it's just I kind of wanted to do, and it made me realize that I wasn't doing what I necessarily wanted to do.
Okay. Okay.
So to long story short, what I did to prepare myself for this pandemic, I just simply took the break. I
Okay.
needed it
Okay. Okay.
because ever since like that first open mic, I was always going up on stage at least once a week. I
Okay.
mean, obviously, like nowadays, I go up on stage more than once a week. But when I first
Yeah.
started, you had to
Yeah.
build up that routine.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I kind of needed it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, that's perfectly understandable. I think there was a lot of both sides. I know there were people that just kept going, and there were a lot of them that took a break. And I think for everybody, there was a bright spot. I think in the pandemic, like during that time where I think, were you able to? Did you write a lot, or did you just kind of just take a break from comedy as a whole?
I I mean, I would think of ideas, but I did just kind of take a break from comedy, not
Okay.
just performing, but also with the writing. In a
Yeah.
sense, like it kind of helped me like reestablish like a new writing method. I used to just write every day. I even went so
Yeah.
far as to get like a stopwatch, make sure I wrote. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
something. But now I just don't really do that as much. Now most of my writing comes in the form of just me talking my stuff out loud in the
Right.
car. It's
Okay.
Car's usually the best place,
Right. Yeah.
and just and the reason why I do that is it just feels like the jokes come out more naturally. And this was
Okay.
sort of a problem where I had within the last several years, ever since I started doing comedy, is that
Yeah.
a lot of my jokes were a bit too written out in
Okay.
a sense that they don't really have like a natural conversational cadence to them.
Okay.
So now this new way of writing, well, it's not as organized. It's more loose,
Okay.
and but it's allowed me to craft material that seems like
Right.
something I would say in a conversation. And
Okay.
that's essentially what you want to do when it comes to stand up is
Yeah.
you want to make it seem like you're having a conversation with the audience. It's a
Of
one-way
course.
conversation though.
Right. 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 No, that makes perfect sense. Was this one of the things you think added to that involvement over time? Something that you came to, or you're like, okay, maybe this is
Yes.
something I need to switch. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like um before I made the drastic shift into the sexy masculine badger that I am now.
Definitely.
I remember like this one person told me that my act was like a impersonation of a comedian. And
Okay.
you think really hard about it because, in a sense, I totally saw what he was talking about because I was just trying to not not exactly copy, but try to go for this type of comic that I just wasn't really comfortable being.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
I don't know, it just felt like disingenuous. So yeah, if it weren't for that, I don't know. It's hard to say what could or what would be.
Right. Did your so you were saying you wrote every day. Was that something that you started when you first started comedy?
Yes.
It's where you're like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to keep writing and something's going to come out of this, you know?
Well, something better come out of it
Right. Yeah. Of course.
because there's got to be some reward if you're
Yeah.
staying at a fucking Denny's for an hour and on end trying to craft the same dick jokes.
Yeah.
There better be like something at the end of that rainbow.
Oh, that's awesome. Even those jokes can be crafty. And I know you made them good. You made them crafty and good. And but that's great. What where do you see yourself in comedy? Where do you want to what's your goal?
That's a tricky question. That really is. Because I can only say that I have the same goal that a lot of other people in my
Yeah.
field have is that we would like to get to a point where we could be like a working comic. We can actually call ourselves a comedian.
Right.
Right. We don't have to, just refer to ourselves like we're just like an aspiring funny man. No, we can actually like pursue it full time and we can actually like get those Netflix specials and we can, be on Kimmel or be on Talking Funny with Raghu Adibala. Well, I'm already one step there. But where do I see
This
my
is the big goal, man. This is a big goal. People are talking about.
yeah, you're basically my
Yeah.
stepping stone to Rogan.
There you go, man. Sorry, go ahead. You were saying-
But where do I see myself?
Yeah.
If I had to really like speak earnestly, where I see myself in several years is better.
Okay.
And I can only say like in terms of a comic, in terms of a joke writer, that is one thing that I can for sure say that there is going to be growth.
Right.
Now, where that leads me to, does that lead me to like, the opportunities that I just mentioned before?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I kind of go for like a perspective that I can't really like plan everything out
Yeah.
verbatim
Right. Right. Of course.
because sometimes, life has funny way of dicking you around.
Right. Exactly. Thing. Things get thrown in your direction. You have to weave around it. That is certainly true. That is
Mm.
true. Oh man. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about with you? Have you done any improv? Did you ever want to do it before? Like, because I know
I
sometimes that helps
Okay,
being a
so
comic.
I tried improv legitimately for the first time about like a month ago,
Oh, you did? Okay. All
and
right.
I haven't done it again since then. Not that it was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
It's just that stand up is truly my element,
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
and improv definitely requires like a certain mentality that may be a little foreign to me because essentially like of it's all team effort and fuck being in team. Am I right?
Yeah, improv, it's interesting. Like you want to, people have come from improv and they say that it's helped a lot with crowd work or, the
Oh, it
spontaneity and
definitely has for a
yeah,
lot of people,
yeah,
and I definitely see the
yeah.
benefit of it. I haven't done it again.
Have
Instead, I
you
just
yeah, do you talk to the crowd a lot? Are you like if somebody says or reacts in a way, are you one of those that, you know, will say something back, or how do you handle that?
It depends on the situation. Sometimes I
Okay.
try. I'm not really much of a crowd work comic.
Okay. Right.
The times where I've done crowd work the most are maybe when emceeing, but that's asking
Yeah.
the stock question. So where's everyone from? What
Right.
does everyone do for a living?
Exactly.
Everyone just got out of jail.
Exactly. Right.
Those type of things. As far as
Right.
crowd work, I feel like the thing I try to respond to the most is when the crowd reacts to a joke in a certain way that kind of throws me off,
Okay. Yeah.
like
Exactly. Yeah.
awes or groans
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
silence.
Right.
You gotta
The
react to silence
silence.
every now and then.
The silence. Yes. That's like one of those moments where it's like, okay, now you really got to prove how good of a comic you are, is how you come back from that, right? That's like your, moments like that is what kind of makes you stronger, you think?
Right. Because there's nothing more disheartening than
Right.
just going over this part of your act that you
Right.
slaved over, you put your
Exactly.
time, your heart, your energy, and then
Exactly.
you spilled your right on the
Exactly.
stage, and
Right.
then suddenly you just get fucking friend zoned by the
Right.
audience.
Right.
And
Exactly.
now you gotta like scramble and make it seem like everything is all right. That's
Exactly.
right. You just gotta keep smiling. It's all part of the plan. Yeah,
Exactly.
I
Man,
totally didn't want you guys to laugh.
you described it perfectly. Like, I think every comic does that. It's like you have this, where you're working on a joke and you're like, "Oh my god, this is golden." And it's worked at mics, or and then all of a sudden you can't wait to try it. You get out there and it's like crickets. You're like, what the hell? Like, what happened between I tested it, it's been proved, and then what do you do? Like, how do you come back from that if that happens? And what's your go-to move when you got that silence here?
I certainly have a bit of a go-to line for situations like
Okay,
that,
that's good. Yeah,
and it's to the point where it's sort of become my unofficial catchphrase.
right.
Should I just tell you what it is?
Sure. Let's hear
It's did you guys enjoy the silence? Good, I made it.
it. Nice.
To the point where
Yeah.
that's just the line that people associate with me. Which
Right.
I don't know exactly how I feel about that because it's flattering, but at the same time, I do that line if something doesn't go right. So
Right. Not,
essentially,
yeah. It's not like
my
it
my
happens
most
all the
my
time. You
most
don't want.
quotable joke is because the other joke failed.
Right.
So I don't know how that makes me feel as a writer per se, but hey, whatever. It's notoriety, I guess.
It just means that when it happens, you're really good at bouncing back, and I think that's really important. The few times that it happens to people, I think because hey, it could go either way, right? It could just you know because it's happening. I mean, early on, and with used to where that happens, I'm like, holy crap, and then that's it. I'm done. Like my whole other, it's just been derailed. There's no way of bringing this train back. I was at that point, which it's one of those things. It's defining. It you know kind of makes you more better comic later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But much like a shot from a hypodermic needle, it still
Yeah.
hurts.
Right. Of course. Of course. Of course, man. But yeah, no, this it's great, dude, that you're and you were in Indiana, you did the Market Lounge.
Yeah.
How is it being on the road? What do you like going out on the road? What do you what's the kind of comedy you like the most? Going out on the road.
So with going out on the road, I'm still working my way towards going down that path because
Okay.
for a long time I had been mainly home based as a
Okay.
comic, mainly just doing like clubs in Chicago, but now I have been
Sure.
venturing out to like other states as well. And it's
Nice.
definitely a bit of a transition. It's definitely like something getting used to. Indiana isn't too bad
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
um, lately a lot of the places I've been going to in Indiana, it's still driving distance.
Right.
It's like an hour long.
Okay.
And I don't live too
Well,
far away from Indiana. I live about 30 miles
okay.
west of the Indiana border, so it's not too
Oh,
bad.
okay. Not bad. We were just in Indiana over the weekend or yesterday. Indiana Dunes.
How was that
Dude,
crowd?
that was nice. On the beach. It wasn't bad. It was
Oh, it was an outdoor gig? Oh, man, that
no,
must
I
suck.
didn't do a show. I was out there with my family. We were on the beach.
Uh,
Yeah.
I,
It was
I kind of,
I
to be
did do
honest,
it. Yeah, I
to
did
be
cut
honest, I did kind of
it.
figure that out.
Yeah. Well, I did cut away to do like a 5-minute spot on a virtual show though. I was just walking around trying to find signal for a while, but worked out.
Oh,
Yeah, real quick.
yeah, if there's something I can totally relate with you on, it's loss of signal.
Oh yeah. Well, we've been doing pretty good. It hasn't been too bad. Your face was just frozen like for a second every now and then, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, as long as you can hear me.
Have you so you didn't do so you took a break because so you didn't get on the virtual
I did
scene,
not.
the Zoom scene.
Yeah, for a while I was opposed to it,
Okay. Okay.
and I'm still not quite certain on the merits of it. Well,
Yeah.
there are merits in the sense you're still doing comedy,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's a lot of that experience that gets lost. There's that
Yeah.
connection that you make with the audience that just gets lost.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I understand there's like a certain way of performing that's drastically different from, doing it
Yeah.
live in
Yeah.
person. So
Yeah.
that being said, I have not done a Zoom show. You could either call that just stubbornness, laziness, but that's just the God honest truth.
Right. No, there's, I mean, it's to each their own. Everybody's, dealt with it differently. It's yes, you can't connect with the audience too well. It is definitely interesting. The
Right.
one thing that I think came out of it is meeting other comics, from other cities and stuff kind of
I would say that's probably like the advantage because
yeah.
like comics like have shows for flappers, for instance, out in California. They've done the virtual flapper show. And
Yeah.
think of it like that. It's like years ago, people had to fly or drive all the way out to California
Yeah.
to try to get on flappers.
Yeah.
Now there's an opportunity where
Yeah.
you could still perform a show for flappers without driving all the way out there.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, there's definitely merit in that regard. It's a
Yeah.
little bit easier to network. That being said, though,
Yeah.
I remember like a year ago,
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself in a rather fearful tone that Zoom shows were going to replace the live experience. We're going to become
Yeah. I think a
comfortable with
lot.
that.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of people were thinking that.
A lot
And
of people.
because I think a lot of people were fearing that because it was
Yeah.
new.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
when
Yeah.
something is new, you're uncertain of where it will go next
Right. Right.
because no one really truly understands the potential or the drawback. And so
Right.
they just presume it's
Right.
just open range at this point.
Exactly.
But it seems like that now that live entertainment has come back, the Zoom shows, they're still around,
Yeah.
but they've kind of taken a step down in prominence, so to speak. Like they're still
Yeah.
around. You mentioned you just did one, but I feel like
Yeah.
now comics are back in the grind to get back on
Yeah.
live shows.
Of course. Of course. And yeah, you hit on a great point. It was like very uncertain. Is this gonna be it? This is where comedy's leading for a while,
Mhm.
and geez, I did a bunch of Zoom shows, but trust me, I didn't want to keep doing them. Like, obviously, being on stage is like one of the greatest things, and having audience in front of you and seeing everybody's faces. Oh my god, the blank like screens with the
Okay,
mic off.
just make sure that the next Zoom booker doesn't watch this episode. Then,
Oh no, they all understand. I mean, it's they know, they understand. You think I'm the only one that's ever said that? Like seriously, it's but you know what? You gotta. I think I really, I really appreciate how hard people have worked to like put it out there still and like, and they kind of got into it pretty fast. It happened so fast.
Mhm.
The virtual shows and the mics and to your point about it, will this be forever? Because it seemed like, oh, now there are regular mics. There's a Zoom mics. Hey, our mic is back again next week. Like, as if it's just a regular mic that's been there forever. And
Right.
and there were so many mics all popping everywhere every night, like 3 mics a night. You didn't have to leave your couch, but yeah, but the connection, the you know especially the comics who'd like to do crowd work, that's not gonna work. That's
Yeah,
not
if
gonna
you're a
work.
crowd work comic, you're
Yeah,
just don't do a Zoom show because it's just
exactly.
not gonna.
Exactly. Yeah, there are pros and cons, and and then a lot of people took a break. A lot of people wrote a lot. I think it's and then yeah, there are, I think, because the Zoom shows are still going on a little bit, because I think a lot of people still want to do virtual shows. They don't want to come out yet. So that
Right.
might be why. But yeah, of this right now, do you want to plug anything? Is there anything coming up for you? What's going on your calendar, Kyle?
To be honest, I have to like look at my calendar to see for sure.
Okay.
But just follow me on social media,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook at Kyle Allen Comedy. You can
Yes.
always come see CG's Comedy Club in Bolingbrook every Thursday night. For sure,
Yeah.
going to be there, especially in a couple of weeks, which will actually be my birthday,
Nice.
August 12th. So
Dude, so Thursday, yo, I'm gonna try to come out. On a Thursday. It's your
yeah,
birthday. Oh, that's great, man. I want to come out for that. For that.
yeah, it'd be great to see
Yeah,
all my friends and
yeah.
family come out and see me while I have a nervous breakdown about turning 30.
Nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be swell. Oh,
That's gonna be awesome. Hey, so I'm gonna go to my last thing here that I do. It's called Ragu's Hot Sauce Seat. Basically, what that means is I'm gonna ask you a bunch of random questions, and you're just gonna answer whatever comes to your head. Try not to think too much. Just okay.
okay,
All the explanation of you though. So
okay.
all right, here we go. Number one, what would you do? What would you do with a pencil besides write with it? What else can you do?
Sharpen it.
Okay, that works, I guess. Come on, Kyle. Like you gotta. Of course, you can sharpen a pencil, but I've, I think people. Some people said
What do you
stab
want? Like a
somebody.
Dark Knight Joker instance where I stab someone in the eye with it?
That
I
works.
know
Yeah.
I look
See.
like I could do that. Oh, that's gonna be written on the record. Oh, I know it. Stab someone.
Oh,
There. Do you
yeah,
want? Is that
there
what
you
you want
go.
to hear?
Yes.
I
You're,
murder
I
someone.
was gonna say you're
God
not the
damn
only
it.
one who's said that. I've heard that before. That's it's scary how many people have said that. Okay, here number two. If there was a movie made about you in your life, who would you want playing you?
Ryan Gosling, just
Ryan
to prove
Gosling.
to people that he doesn't get typecast for playing the pretty guy.
There you go. I see that. I see Ryan Gosling. The resemblance is uncanny. It's there.
Yeah, it's totally there.
It's just gotta keep looking at your face. It's there. It's
Yeah,
I
just
see
I need to wear that white jacket that he wore in Drive, and there you go.
it. I love that look. By the way, that's hilarious. I love it. Yeah, you wear that when you host the mic. You've done that, right?
Well, usually I wear like a plain color shirt, and usually I
Yeah,
dress up with, the denim jacket and the
yeah,
gloves.
yeah.
So,
Nice.
I essentially, yes, I wear the bandana every time I go up,
There you go.
and I
That's
even wear the bandana in public.
it. I know you
And
do. It's great, man. That's you. That's your look. So, all right, number three. If you wrote an autobiography, what would it be called?
I think I have a good idea what it'd be called. It'd be called "Did You Enjoy the Silence?"
Hey, there you go.
When do I get my royalty checks?
There you go. That's right. That's right. All right. Number four. You are on a raft with a nun, an old man, and a baby, but there's only room for three of you. So one of them has to get pushed off. They're not making it to shore, so forget about it. They're just gonna be gone.
Well,
Who are you pushing off? The what? Who?
well, maybe stab the nun with a pencil.
Wow, you're the first one to bring back the pencil into this. This is
I mean, if I
interesting.
wanted to be, if I wanted to go full Lord of the Flies, stab the nun because, look, man, it's all about survival. You don't need to bring morality into this. Stab the nun, maybe save the other guy. That way, just in case there isn't much food and whatever island you wash up on, the baby can
Yeah,
live because, the baby, baby ain't gonna remember anything.
that's true.
In fact, just
Wow.
maybe just leave the baby like on rocks or something like
You,
that. Why would I have a baby around?
why would you stab the nun? You could just push her off. She's not gonna make it. You don't have to
Hey, nuns
stab
can probably
her and then
swim.
push her. What's that?
Nuns could probably swim.
Yeah, but I already said they're not gonna make it to shore. This is uncalled for, Kyle. This is just too much. I
Me being on a raft is uncalled for, Ragu. A
Oh man,
desperate man does desperate things when they're in desperate
buddy.
situation.
That's true. I'll give you that. Yeah, yes. I like that. All right. If you were to choose between invisibility or flying, which superpower would you want to go with?
Flying.
Flying. All right. Why is that?
I don't know. I've pretty much been invisible most of my time in high school. It's not that great.
Oh, well, I went to a dark spot.
I don't know, man. I just talked about stabbing, and now you
Yeah, you
think that's
did.
a
That's
dark
true.
spot.
That's, that's true. That's cool. So yeah, fly around. You can go anywhere really. That's nice. All right, here we go. Number
Go
six.
anywhere, just
Yeah,
not further in comedy.
right. Right. Number six. What items would you buy at a store like a Walgreens or CVS? What would you buy at a store to make the cashier really uncomfortable?
Uh, Condoms.
Okay, that's it. That's
Yes, then they'd have to look up. It's like, oh, you're going to use them?
oh my god, man, you really don't. You
Oh, you're going to
gotta
get
give.
some. Oh, why is that person subjecting themselves to the horror of being with you? Oh,
Oh my god! Wow. All right, if that's what you're gonna go with, then that's what we're gonna. That's it. You can't change your answer
or
now.
maybe I'll buy some pencils.
Nope. Sorry. And then what you're gonna go on a stabbing spree with
No,
pencils?
they need to be sharpened, Ragu.
Sorry, I didn't mean to assume
Damn right.
based on your other answers.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay. The last Netflix comedy special you saw, what was it?
The last Netflix comedy special that I saw in its entirety
Yeah.
was when I was just thumbing around through Netflix and I happened to watch this old 90s Tim Allen
Oh, really? It's on
special.
there?
Yeah, it was like this old 90s thing. And this thing was great because
Really?
it was totally like 90s. He had the wacky tie, like the garish
Yeah.
background. And
Yeah.
I had to, it was kind of a chore watching it because there's only so much of Tim Allen go, oh, oh. that
Yeah,
I can take.
exactly. Right.
That's basically all he does the
It's
entire
awesome.
time. Like that's an
Oh yeah,
exaggeration. That's his whole thing. And he also used a slur for Japanese people, so that was interesting.
nice. I think a lot of these actors who, they go on, they do family sitcoms and then go back to, they do like the most like edgiest humor after, like Bob Saget, he's
Oh yeah,
hilarious.
it's definitely more hilarious than that Tim Allen special.
Right. That's okay. Here we go. If you could see one comic from the past perform live again, who would it be?
Hands down, George Carlin.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's
Absolutely,
great.
hands
That would be
down.
awesome.
There is no other.
Yep.
In my
Well,
opinion, George Carlin was the first modern comedian. I
that's
mean,
true.
if you want to like, he is more his style is more derived from Lenny Bruce, but I feel like what George Carlin did is he brought in like someone of a extreme
Yeah.
way than Lenny Bruce did.
Right. Right. Exactly. He was. I love his. Just the way he connected to also a lot of young people, like college level, like students,
Absolutely.
and he, very social comic. So it was. Yeah, I would love to see him live. That would be great if we could do if they could do that. But last question: ragu or prego? What do you prefer?
Ranch.
All right. Okay. I'm glad this is over. Like I don't ranch. I think that's the best answer I've ever gotten for that one.
Yeah, I prefer you.
Well, I know that, but I'm gonna try to come out. Yeah, August 12th, you said, right? Your birthday, and you're of course hosting CG's. You do it every Thursday. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to try comedy, guys, get out there at CG's every Thursday. They have it at Kyle Allen Comedy. That's his handle. You can follow Kyle on there, and in person, people can follow you.
Yes, usually my internet connection is a lot better in person.
There you go. That's perfect. Kyle, thank you so much for being on. This has been wonderful. Everybody go see Kyle when he's got shows coming up, and he's gonna where can they go to see upcoming shows? Your Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and social
Okay,
media. That's the best way
great.
to keep track of what I do.
Cool. Yes. There's a lot to come. And thank you, Kyle. I really appreciate it. It's been
Thank
wonderful
you,
talking to you.
Ragu.
Yeah, no worries. I will see you around.
All right, well, you take care now.
All right, you too, man. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Oh man, that was Kyle Allen, you guys. Really, really, really funny. And like I said, he performs all over Chicago and starting to perform a lot in other states. And he runs the mic every Thursday at CG's Comedy Club. That's in the Promenade in Bolingbrook, right next to the movie theater. So on Thursday, you can go try out some comedy. All right, and we will have another guest next week. I'll be putting up more stuff online. So this has been Talking Funny. My name is Raghu Adibatla. You guys have a great night.